Man, shout out to Dante's Boxing Nation.
DBN Nation, of course. Support DBN Nation. You're hearing it from Floyd Money Mayweather.
It's Terence Crawford, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
This is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation, baby.
Hi, you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo! Hey.
If you know, you know. Now, we all know the fight of the decade is Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. That being said, Errol Spence came out responding to Terence Crawford, stating that the fight between him and Errol Spence is 50-50 all around the board because he's the biggest star. Now, Errol Spence responded by stating it's not a 50-50 fight, especially after talking to Al Heyman. He feels that he's going to hold all the chips in the welterweight division because he fighting Sean Porter, so he's going to get the WBC strap, then possibly fighting Manny Pacquiao, and if he's able to get the WBA strap from Manny, then he's 100% the A side. We already know Errol Spence is the biggest star of the two. Speaking of today, without the Sean Porter fight and without the Manny Pacquiao fight, because as we all know, Errol Spence sold almost 400,000 pay-per-views against Mikey Garcia, outdoing Terence Crawford's last two pay-per-view fights combined together. So he obviously the A-side because he sold 47,000 tickets in that fight in particular. So that being said, since Terence stated the fight has to be 50-50, I don't understand why people are mad at Errol Spence or bashing Errol Spence for the statements he made when he was basically responding to a question with a very logical answer. He didn't state anything out of the norm. We all know Errol Spence is the biggest star of the two, and numbers don't lie. People lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. Sometimes numbers do lie, but not in this situation. That being said, Errol Spence in the past stated on Barbershop interview that after the Sean Porter fight, if he fights Terence Crawford, the split will be 60-40 to his favor. However, if he gets the Manny Pacquiao fight, things will change. As he stated, Manny Pacquiao is like the Oscar de la Hoya of his career. Just like Oscar was for Floyd Mayweather when Floyd beat Oscar and became a megastar in the sport of boxing, he feels the Manny Pacquiao fight will do the same for his career. And you can't really disagree with that. We all know Terence Crawford was trying to get the Manny Pacquiao fight himself and still calling out Manny Pacquiao to this day, as he should. But obviously Errol Spence is in a better position since all the big names, including Manny Pacquiao, are signed with the PBC and Al Heyman. So if Terence Crawford want to be in that position, he might want to consider going to the PBC, since ESPN is not doing him any justice over there on their side, promoting Errol Spence almost more than they promoting their own fighter. That being said, I don't disagree with anything Errol Spence stated. I believe he's being logical. And why not fight Manny Pacquiao before Terence Crawford? Because Terence Crawford, a year or two from now, he will still be around. However, Manny Pacquiao won't be around. We all know Manny Pacquiao is 41. So retirement is at the door, is knocking at the door, matter of fact. So you better off getting a Manny Pacquiao fight while you can. And since that fight is easier to make because Manny Pacquiao is with the PBC and Terence Crawford is over there on the other side of the street with ESPN, and while Bob Arum is not being reasonable and 1 in 50-50 split when Errol Spence is the biggest star, that's the best plan for an Errol Spence and Al Heyman if they want to get the bag or if they want to get the bigger purse against the Terence Crawford in that fight in the future. So obviously Al Heyman does have a plan, and I don't see what's the issue since Errol Spence already stated if I don't get the Manny Pacquiao fight, the next option is a Terence Crawford fight, and that's the fight I want. However, if that fight doesn't get made for whatever reason, for example, if Bob Arum is only willing to make the fight if the fight is a 50-50 split, then Errol Spence might look at different options like a Danny Garcia or a Keith Thurman. He didn't specifically state that, but I'm just throwing it out there. So I believe that's reasonable. we all know at the end of the day, Errol Spence is the A side. And he's the biggest star of the two. And numbers don't lie. So if the fight doesn't happen because Bob Arum wants a 50-50 split, that's not Errol Spence or Al Heyman's fault. Since they the A side, they deserve the biggest split. That's a Bob Arum fault. And Terence Crawford should consider going to the PBC if he really wants the Errol Spence fight, since all the big names are signed with the PBC. And since ESPN is not doing Terence Crawford any justice by promoting Tyson Fury and Lomachenko more than Terence Crawford, even though Terence Crawford is their best talent over there on their roster. That being said, Terence Crawford's contract is about to be up, so he better make the right move. Your next move better be your best move. So that being said, I know where's all the backlash coming from. I'm talking about all the backlash that Errol Spence is receiving. It's obviously from Mikey Garcia fans and fans that want to see Errol Spence lose because he stayed beating their favorite fighters. And for the people that stated, how come y'all were defending Deontay Wilder when he was pursuing an Anthony Joshua fight and AJ wanted the bigger split, but in the meantime, y'all were defending Deontay Wilder even though he had 1 belt and AJ had 3 belts. So this is my response to that. I'm about to take y'all to the IQ University since some of y'all failed to graduate from the IQ University. So all the decafs, go ahead and take notes and pay attention to what I'm about to say. The $1 million question is, how come y'all weren't pushing for a 50-50 split then with a Deontay Wilder and an AJ like y'all pushing for a 50-50 split now? But to answer y'all question, the Deontay Wilder versus AJ fight at the time was projected to make $100 million, right? And AJ sent Deontay Wilder a 12% offer the first time, which Deontay Wilder accepted as long as AJ accepts the same offer in the rematch, which AJ said absolutely not. So Wilder was willing to take 12%, let alone 40%. So after AJ was trying to lowball Deontay Wilder, he asked for $50 million since the fight supposed to generate $100 million, if it's true, right? Deontay Wilder sent him that offer, which AJ ended up turning down, blaming it on the fact that he don't want to fight in the States. He want to fight in the UK. Then AJ improved the Deontay Wilder offer from $12 million to $15 million, which is approximately 15% that Deontay Wilder accepted. However, Eddie Hearn paid the WBO or the WBA, one of the two, to mandate Povetkin, a drug cheat, to come in between that fight because that fight took too long to make when Deontay Wilder already accepted the offer and signed the contract. So AJ basically turned down his own offer he sent Deontay Wilder. Ain't that pathetic? So Wilder was accepting a 15% offer, and y'all claiming is the same situation? And to make matter worse, Errol Spence beat Kell Brook, arguably the best 147-pounder. Then he's fighting Sean Porter. Then a Manny Pacquiao, a pay-per-view star, his version of Oscar De La Hoya. Meanwhile, AJ, on the other hand, he fought for vacant titles. He fought for belts that were vacant that Tyson Fury won after beating Klitschko. Then he was supposed to fight Ortiz for one of the belts, then lied to Ortiz to fight for that belt against Klitschko when Klitschko was coming off a loss on a year layoff against Tyson Fury fight, where he lost that fight in an embarrassment way by not throwing any punches. So basically, I just pointed out that those two situations are not comparable. And even so, Wilder was accepting a 15% offer since AJ was the biggest star of the two, right? That being said, Errol Spence is the clear bigger star, and if he's able to get a Manny Pacquiao fight, then the sky's the limit. He's obviously the A side, but regardless of any of that, I still want to see the fight because that's the fight of the decade. However, if Bob Arum wants a 50-50 split and Errol Spence stands for his rights and won the biggest split because he's the biggest star, I'm not gonna be mad at Errol for that because he's doing the right thing. That being said, subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute, if you're trying to get dumber by the second. Don't and listen to these decaps. Check out my new show, Split Decision, on Aki TV. I just dropped it. It's going to be hosted every Monday. Follow Lunatoon Boxing for the funniest boxing memes. All the links will be in the description box below. Follow Dante's News Nation and Travel Nation. All the links, like I stated, will be in the description box below. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live. And before we be continuing on the next episode of Aki TV, I must point this out. Some people want to play ignorant and try to act like they don't know what's going on. We all know at the end of the day, if Terence Crawford was in Errol's shoes and there's a fight on his stable that's makeable against the Manny Pacquiao, he will obviously pursue that fight before an Errol Spence fight if he's in Errol's shoes, right? So why are we mad at Errol Spence for doing the right thing for his career? He's making moves that's going to make the Terence Crawford fight in the future even bigger. And obviously, he's pursuing a fight that's supposedly bigger right now than the Terence Crawford fight, and that's against the Manny Pacquiao fight because Manny's the biggest star of the two. And he's a fighter that a year from now might not be boxing no more. So obviously, it's a no-brainer for Errol Spence to fight Manny Pacquiao first, since he's already on the PBC side, since he on the same street. Why would you go to a different street against the Terence Crawford when Bob Arum is claiming he wants a 50-50 split? He's not even being reasonable, like I stated. And like I pointed out earlier, is in no comparison between an AJ and Errol Spence. That's, matter of fact, a disrespect if you point that out. Because like I said, AJ is not cut from the same cloth as Errol Spence. Errol Spence stayed consistently calling out Crawford, stating that I'm willing to fight him. I'm not going to move up till I unify and become undisputed against the Terence Crawford and all the other champions. Unlike AJ, who got caught on an interview stating, I'm going to freeze Deontay Wilder out if he don't behave. Then, years later, after he loses, claiming that Tyson and Wilder froze him out when he came out with that term. So that being said, we all know Errol Spence and AJ are cut from two different cloths. And if anything, Terence Crawford, Deontay Wilder, and Errol Spence are cut from the same cloth. That being said, subscribe below. Check out my new show, Split Decision. Subscribe below. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time we go live and to be continued on the next episode of Aki TV.